Welcome back to a Wheel Wednesday, the third weekly Wheel Wednesday, where I spin a wheel, take a prompt from YouTube, DeviantArt, or Patreon currently, or Discord. No one's giving it on Discord though. Today's prompt was from, I believe it is maresw or maresw. You know, I've been wondering what it is for a long time, but I'm pretty sure it's maresw. With how the capitalization is. They will correct me, probably, if I'm wrong. Maybe. Hopefully. Anyway, the prompt was, a dark ritual to the divine rogue phantom goes horribly wrong. Now, how did I interpret this? Well, since it went wrong, I didn't really have to think about the divine rogue phantom. Just because in my mind I was like, oh, looks like they got something else with their ritual. Too bad. You get to deal with weird flesh slab with eyes now. So in the piece, the top part is like the ritual, and the bottom part is what they've accidentally summoned or called upon. Whatever you want to go with. And I tried to do like a cultish cloaked figure with a ritual dagger for the top. The cloak, it is, well, I tried to have them looking up. It didn't really end up looking like that in my opinion, so I ended up changing it to just have them look forward. Yep. And originally it was going to be like the ritual dagger was going to be going like through their hand, or shown coming from their hand, I should say, which is does it look like that? Debatable. I also, as you can see here, drew them with like a broken finger. I fixed that though, don't worry, it takes a very long time, but I do fix it eventually. And here I tried to add in like shiny eyes, or just eyes that are white, but I don't really like how it looks, so I end up getting rid of those and completely changing them. But that, just like fixing the finger, that is a long ways away. And I'm using this red as a substance that I don't know if I can say on the YouTubes, but like, you know, we all know. And it's doing ritualistic stuff, which is why it is, you know, in circles and then falling down. And also, I separated the circle, the top circle, from that bottom arch, basically just so I could like show the cultist figure better. Because otherwise there'd be red streaks dripping from that top circle over the cult figure. Every time I say what the figures, I keep changing in my mind what they are. Like, it's a cultish robe figure, but every time I say it, it's like second guessing myself. I'm still doing it. So now I can conveniently transition into talking about this weird flesh clump block thing instead. Originally, while I was doing the sketch, I was thinking of having it like have a large mouth, or maybe multiple small mouths, having the red drain into it. But then I decided I don't really want to give this thing a mouth. I want to just have it be a mess of flesh and eyes. So that's what I did. This is what happens when you do the ritual wrong, folks. You get horrible flesh amalgam. That's just how it works. And I went with a more, not, how do I say this? Not quite rotten, but more dried out flesh tones, I guess. Like, you can see the lightest part of that is more of a, kind of like a keratiny color. As if it was like nail bits growing, I guess. Nail as in fingernails, and not as the metal nail. And I'm leaving giant holes for eyeballs currently, because we add them later in post. Why? Because I am doing the flesh rendering, so I want to stick to using those colors, which I think I only used 3, which is that really dark red, which is currently in the eye sockets as a base, and then I did a pinky red on top of that, and then the way brighter keratiny color. And I rendered it the way I normally render things, with my favorite gamer knife maybe brush. Yep, that's its name. That's what I called it back when I made it, before I thought I'd be doing these videos, and I refused to change it. Especially because then it would mix up my muscle memory on where it is on my little color picker, brush picker wheel thing. I don't know what it's actually called, but it's the right click for Krita by default. So now I'm finally working on the eyes, and I used the blue of the cloak on like a really low opacity. I think it was the like mid-tone color that I used for the cloak. And then I used that keratiny color also on a super duper low opacity to like lighten up the bottom, since that's where assumedly light coming top down. So that's where the light would be bouncing up back into the eye, whereas on the top would have the shadow of the eyelid. And now I am adding irises, but before this I did add in some of the veins in the eye using that really dark red color I used for that base color, I guess, of the bottom monster flesh bit. And I also did add some highlights onto those veins, again using that keratiny color, just because they do bulge out a little bit on your eye, and so they can catch light, so that's what I did. And now to the irises, I did what I always do, where I use the one color in a circle, then I alpha lock that layer, and I use a multiply airbrush of that same color to do shadow on the top bit, and then the pupil, and I do a little highlight outline, still in the dark color on multiply layer, on the bottom of the iris circle, and then I use that same color with color dodge to do highlights on the bottom. And then I also this time used an overlay of the red and the keratiny color for more highlights. And now I'm just going in with the red and just putting it all over this thing. And I tried to follow the contours of it before having it fall off. Just a bit. So post-editing me, I accidentally turned off my mic here. I think talking about the background and how I made it more interesting than just white. Oops, I accidentally muted my microphone, and you're gonna cut back into me realizing that I muted my microphone. That's right, we do professional edits here instead of just like re-recording a whole thing and fixing it. Whatever, I fixed a broken finger in this too, I think. I don't remember what I said. Bye. Oh no. My mic might have been muted for a bit. I didn't even notice. Well, time to check that in post. Yippee. Well, if I have to fix that, you won't be hearing this. If I don't, well, that means nothing to you. I'm just adding red highlights to the cloak now. And also, I made the cloak kind of fade/meld into shadow. I don't know, I just felt that it... Well, one, I wasn't too happy with the cloak, and two, it could be another consequence of messing up the ritual and getting whatever this flesh creature is instead of the rogue phantom. Divine rogue phantom, sorry. Titles are important. Gotta use the whole thing. So, here I'm quote-unquote fixing the face. I just completely changed it to be, that. And then I add color dodge and multiply to the background to make it more poppy, I guess. Stand out more. And I add multiply to the horrible flesh monster too soon. And then that's really it. Yep. Thank you for watching. I feel like I actually talked about what I was doing more this time, so thank you. remember to leave prompts for the next Wheel Wednesday. You too may have your prompt chosen. Thank you. Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Bye.